மீனவ மக்களை பற்றி ஆய்வு செய்த பேரறிஞர், மருத்துவ கல்லூரியினுடைய பேராசிரியர், ஆகச் சிறந்த ஆளுமையாளர், மருத்துவர், என் அன்பு தங்கை சந்திர பிரபா ஜெயபால் அவர்களை நான் ராமநாதபுரம் வேட்பாளராக அறிவிப்பதில் பெருமையும் மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகிறேன். ஆகச் சிறந்த தகுதியான வேட்பாளரை நான் கொண்டு வந்து ராமநாதபுரம் மண்ணிலே, என் பிறந்த மண்ணிலே நிறுத்துவதில் பெருமையும் மகிழ்ச்சியும் அடைகிறேன்.
இண்டிபெண்டன்ட்டா இந்த சமூகத்தில் எக்ஸிஸ்ட் ஆக முடியும். அந்த கான்ஃபிடன்ஸ் தான் உங்களுக்கு பயம். நாங்க கட்டுப்பாடு இல்லாதவர்கள் என்று உணர்வு இருக்கு. கல்யாண வீட்டுகள்ல வந்தா எல்லா வார்த்தைகளுக்கும் தமிழ்ல வெவ்வேறு அர்த்தம் இருக்கு. பட் யூ cannot tell that we are an eyesore in the society. நீங்க அதை சொல்லாதீங்க. ப்ராப்ளம் அல்லாத பெண்களுக்கு இந்த சமூகம் என்ன செஞ்சுச்சு? நீங்க ஏத்துக்கிறதும் ஏத்துக்காததும் எனக்கு பொருட்டல்ல.
வாழை குலைக்குது, சோலை தழைக்குது, ஏழைக்கு இதில் என்ன கிடைக்குது, கூழை குடிக்குது, நாளை கடத்துது, ஓலை குடிசையில் ஒண்டி கிடக்குது. ஒண்டி கிடக்கவா நாம் பிறந்தோம்? என் கொள்கையை ஒட்டிய கொள்கைகள், அண்ணன் செந்தமிழன் சீமான் அவர்களின் பேச்சு, அவருடைய எண்ணம், இதுதான் என்னை இங்க கொண்டு வந்துச்சு. அண்ணன் சீமானின் துணிவு எனக்கு இருக்கிறது, அண்ணன் சீமானின் தைரியம் இருக்கிறது, என்னை சேர்ந்த கூட்டம் எங்க இருக்கிறது, யாரை கண்டு பயம்? ஆங்கிலத்தில் 2 வார்த்தைகள் உள்ளன, சான்ஸ், சாய்ஸ். நம் பெற்றோர்கள் நமக்கு பெற்றோர்களாக அமைவது சான்ஸ், நமக்கு அதில் தேர்வு கிடையாது. ஆனால் நாம் தமிழர், என் சாய்ஸ், இட்ஸ் மை சாய்ஸ்.
Welcome everyone. Today we are inviting Dr. Chandra Prabha, NTK Ramanathapuram candidate. Thanks for joining us. Dr. Chandra Prabha, we all know you, but not many know you yet. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, Mr. Sharad, and your happiness is mutual. So am I. I'm happy too. To introduce myself, I'm Dr. Chandra Prabha. I was educated, I got my MBBS degree from Annamalai University and my MD from Meenakshi Medical College, married to a general surgeon, blessed with 2 wonderful children, one pursuing her PhD in nanotechnology in Ohio, USA, and my son is doing his MBA in Malaysia. And my interest academically is more towards sports physiology. We teach lots of medical physiology and general medicine too. So this is about me in a nutshell. I have to say a little about my family history here. My father was the member of Legislative Assembly representing DMK in the T Nagar constituency. Later, my brother also joined the party and he's a senior public prosecutor. He's also in DMK. I've been seeing their journey and I have my own principles and ideologies. And I've been observing Seeman Anand for the past few years. And I could actually blend with his thoughts. I could understand his principles better. And I liked his style of, being very independent and vociferous. For whatever he felt was right, for whatever he felt was good for the nation and the state as well, and his prioritization of Tamil, that was really attractive. See, all of us are from Tamil Nadu, but are we real Tamilargal from within? That's a big question. That's a big question, right? I am one such person. I am absolutely a Tamilian from within, from my soul, from anything. And I prioritize my language. I would love to be identified with my language. That's the point. So I started reading about him and then, listening to his wonderful speeches, so much charged with emotion for Tamilians all around the world. I thought that was great. That was very impressive.
Excellent. I think not that many know about this, but your family has a strong DMK background. It's amazing with a strong DMK background, you are able to convince yourself or to join NTK. And that kind of explains it. Meaning, DMK, if you really think about your history, they came up to this level using Tamil. Unfortunately, Tamilians didn't realize they are not really a representative of Tamilians. Now, after Seemanan, and people started realizing, okay, we are kind of misled so far. So I think that's probably the reason, Mani, how you are able to convince your DMK family, or are they supportive of this? What's their reaction?
I come from a family that allows independent thinking.
Mhm.
And we normally never interfere into each other's independent thinking. Where I seek advice, they are there, but they never try to convince me on anything. My parents always believed that children should think independently and should convince themselves rather than forcing it on them. Now that my parents are not alive, even my brother didn't raise a question. Never did he raise a question. He said, okay, you are convinced, and that's fine. You're on a path, just continue your journey. That's what was his reaction. So
Awesome.
they were friends. They were friends who asked me, but they know very well that when Chandra Prabha is convinced, there's no changing.
Awesome. That's great. So now you are new to the constituency. You are
Yes.
suddenly introduced to this constituency, and there are people already. Our people are working there. Did a lot of hard work over there. So when you are newly introduced, what is their reaction? How they are welcoming you, and how they are supporting you?
Yeah, that's a beautiful question. See, I'm absolutely new here. It's only that Appa was born in Kilanjane. It's a small hamlet in Ramanathapuram, and my mother is from Sivaganga, Kalayar Kovil rather. So when I came here, I was a new face, but surprisingly, there was not much of what to say refusal to accept me. They were impressed by my degree, the way I talk, and the bold woman I am. They were very much impressed about it. And I had already appeared in the Vijay TV on a program called Nia Nana, which became very viral.
Mm.
So I was talking about women's right. So probably they felt that was the right choice. And Annan has his own style of picking people, who he feels fit aptly to whatever they have to do. So he felt whatever qualities I have are good enough and I'm adept with them. So I can convey myself, I can work for my constituency and represent people, to get back their rights.
Great. That's the beauty of our NTK party, right? This is not like a traditional party. This can never happen in a traditional party, right? Yeah, an outsider suddenly coming to the party and able to lead the cadre is unimaginable. I think that's where the negative publicity, but the beauty of this is a person like you, a totally eligible candidate like you, are able to contest because the freedom, right? The party has the leadership. That leadership has a vision, and he has the control so that he can pick the right people. So you are a primary example, meaning there is no way a traditional conventional method will allow to do this. So we are thankful, meaning I have seen this Nana program and never imagined such a powerful woman will be in our party. When I saw you are a candidate, I'm like flying in the sky, meaning Anand is doing wonderful stuff. Not the media talks about it, but this is the thing, the media has to talk about it. So how we are going to face the challenge, meaning the media is totally kind of avoiding us. They are not showing any positive side of it. So what is your tactics to deal with the media?
Our strategies in the propaganda, the mainstay is meeting people at a personal level,
Mhm.
at places where they can see me, they can listen to me, and the IT department is working so well. So, short speeches are made, shots
Mhm.
are made, and they are being disseminated in all the corners. Certainly, we are neglected. That is
Mhm.
there. But
Mhm.
then but then, and they are turning their eyes away from us. But then I think we are very convincing and we can do it. And I'm very sure, given the gift of the gap, I can talk well and convince them. People need awareness. They have been driven into an illusion. And as you know, illusion is a black hole. Once you are drawn into it, you don't know what's happening outside. Now, it will be a tough path. Certainly, it will be a cobbled one. But then I'm very confident we can get over it. We have to, within the short, brief period that we have. It's the brevity of time that is also a challenge. But then now that we have to, propaganda on the logo, that takes another big chunk of the whole propaganda pattern, the design. But then all of us are working together, and I am very positive that we will succeed.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, it's a marathon. It's a long way to go. We just
Long
started, and this is a fresh new start. I would say the way the candidates being picked, people like you joining, it's like a fresh start. So, talking about a constituency, what do you think the major problem in the constituency as a parliament representative? Parliament.
representative, you can divide the issues into national and the constituency related one. And now my attention is on the constituency as such and the districts that constitute. Now the problem is we have a long coastline. The top of the agenda is the fishermen being captured, tortured, right? Sometimes rendered invalid, dislocated completely. That is one. Why haven't we looked at the problem at a very serious level? We have lost touch. But there's something that is called the United Nations Convention for Law of the Seas. Are we looking at it? Have we read it? Are we looking at the limitations it dictates on a fisherman who crosses the borders? Have the borders been well defined? It's sometimes I'm perplexed why a Sinhalese fisherman is not caught. Does it make news? Have we ever seen that? Over the years, 850 of them we've lost. Still worse, the boats are broken. So how are they going to make a living? And these are a people who, they are educated, but this is, this is the mainstay of profession for them. What are we trying to do? Or what is the government doing? I hear stories that the government itself, the Coast Guards give tips that Tamil fishermen are crossing the borders and to them so that they can arrest, the Sinhalese Coast Guard can arrest. Isn't that fact? I went into the villages to see the families, young couples being separated. Children haven't seen the father. Ailing parents. What are they supposed to do for their livelihood? Why hasn't the government looked at it? Shouldn't the government have employed experts to look into the convention, contents of the convention? Shouldn't they have put their mainstay argument there? What kind of machinery is this that has guidelines, law of the seas, guidelines in hand, but doesn't follow that? Doesn't this apply to our Tamil men? It doesn't. I see that from the other states, people don't get caught. So where is the negligence then? How are we looking at the problem? What steps have been taken to control? Nothing. Even recently, 22 of the fishermen were captured, out of which 5 of them came from our cadre. And to meet them personally and to see their plight, their predicament, it broke my heart, Mr. Sharad. Being a doctor, a human casualty hits me hard. The second main problem is water management. I've toured through the constituency and I see many water bodies, and equally I see the kind of flora that is there, right? Which is not suitable. The palm trees have almost vanished. The palm trees which I saw when I was a child have almost vanished. There were 5 crores. They've been reduced to 1.5. And at the other end, the government is encouraging the cottage industry that uses palms and many women groups to be involved in it. At one end, you're chopping off the palms, right? And at the other end, I see the thorns growing. And you have to really see it to believe it. You know, it has almost occupied all the flourishing, fertile land. Does it indirectly imply that we are sitting on something else that the government is planning? Yes, to remove or take it away from us, thereby creating an illusion, not maintaining the water bodies. Right? We have almost 1,600 or even 700 water bodies here. The canals have not been cleaned. They have not been desilted. There's always an argument between the forest department and people who work on it, social workers. How are they supposed to be maintained then? Why is there no transparency? They say money is allocated. But then why is there no transparency here? The third thing is the hydrocarbon. Right? The ONGC is now extracting all the fuel. Right? All the fuel. Now, people should know what is technically happening there. Hydraulic fracking. Deep wells are being drilled. When the wells are being drilled, after you go through the tectonic plates, there can be a slight tremor or movement of the tectonic plates.
Correct.
In a worst condition, you can have an earthquake. There's also release of unwanted gases. Release of unwanted gases. One is a respiratory problem, and most of them are carcinogenic. There are women there in the reproductive age group. It can be teratogenic. There is seawater ingress in the vacuum that is being created there once the gases are taken away. Cisterns are left, right? So the water level is also getting polluted, the potable water I'm talking about. One is the pollution. Second is the contamination of water. Within 500 meters, it becomes absolutely unfit for any settlement. Isn't there any scientific approach to this? Why haven't people thought about it? And why are we allowing this? And for an extra information, during the Sethu Raja's period, the kings of the Sethu clan, we had harvested thrice a year. Now, the same place, the harvest has been reduced to once a year because of lack of water. And somehow the munda chili, the big rounded chili, grows only here. It's a drought crop, accepted. But at one period, we were making so much millets. We were making so much. What happened? Just because water has not been, the water flowing through the canals, the water bodies have not been maintained, have not been channelized, and nothing has been done there. So these are the three main things. But when I look at the other things also, see, as a doctor, I want a primary health center every 20 kilometers. No patient can travel beyond that. Say somebody is in labor. Say somebody is in emergency. You think a person can travel beyond that?
No.
We certainly need primary health centers with ambulances stationed there, with adept with medical staff and equipments. And then comes all the other things, the education part. The primary schools should be approachable, should be accessible. The main thing here is the fisherman's problem. It's like an everyday problem, Mr. San. It has to be handled. Then retrieval of catch. management of water bodies. And then we look at the minor problems, and all of them will have to be settled at the same time. We need technical approach. We need a technical backup. We need to discuss. We need to plan, design a blueprint. Once the blueprint is made, planning, development of the plan, action. How are we going to do it? And now this involves different levels of officers, governmental officers, local, central. So once the action is initiated, the fourth part will be to come back and check whether the action is futile or is it bearing fruits.
Yeah, you went into amazing details. It's great. You have so much ideas and you understand the problem. You also have a solution. This is unimaginable, and I don't think any politicians who are contesting against you has even talk even 10% of this. I can guarantee that. I wish like we do it in USA, where we have all these contestants staying in one same stage and people asking questions and they are all answering their policies. So if we can do something like that, NTK
That
will,
would be
will be
amazing.
winning like landslide. Unfortunately, we don't have that such environment. But one of those things you mentioned about fisherman issue, Anna always says that when our fisherman gets caught and getting killed, the news channel invariably everyone talks about Tamil fisherman caught and killed. They never say Indian fisherman caught and killed. That's where the fundamental problem is. If you say Tamil fisherman outside of Tamil Nadu, even in Tamil Nadu nobody cares. Meaning outside of Tamil Nadu they think, oh, some Tamil fisherman got killed. So is that losing the Kachativi is one of the reasons? Do you think that's one of those reasons where we lost the
Certainly.
boundary?
Yeah, and certainly, so where are the fishermen supposed to go for fishing? And
Mhm.
sometimes, the design of the sea, certain kind of fishes are more at one place. The fishermen know, they study the sea. So when these fishermen, extend a little to get a good catch,
Mhm.
this is what happens. Now, losing catch is losing a huge deal of our seas. But at
Mhm.
the same time, you must also realize that when I was talking about the fuel area, right? The fuel potential area, 250 MMT is available in the sea.
Mhm.
So, is there a premeditated plan to prevent these fishermen from entering that area so that that is available for the rigging?
Mhm.
You understand?
Yep.
It's a kind of very hidden agenda.
Exactly. Yep.
Could be. There are
Yeah, it is.
possibilities, right?
Yeah, it is. It is total. Meaning, all these politicians talk about we are going to bring back Kachativu, just a statement. Nobody really know what exactly mean by getting back the Kachativu. There is a reasoning behind it. Like you said, there is an agenda behind it. What are the challenges you are facing to explain this to the common problem? Meaning, they think somebody is coming and shouting about it. He has no clue. But what are your challenges? Meaning, people like you having such a vision and ideas, why it is not reaching? Why NTK is not able to reach those common people?
One thing is, Mr. Sharon, people actually don't know what is the basic crux of the problem because they see only the outcome. And certain technical details, see, between two educated people, literate people, is easy to convey.
Mhm.
But then to educate someone who has not been previously educated, who has not been informed the true story, then now it becomes tough for us. The literacy level, though our literacy level, we are, I think, fourth in the state. It's fairly good. It's
Mhm.
fairly good.
Mhm.
Kanyakumari comes first. We are somewhere between second and third, rather.
Mhm.
But then their understanding is only their losses. They must know that for the past, you analyze, we've had 17 MPs. And for the past 20 years, what has been done? People come, give some money, make some promises, and everything is forgotten. Are we making people accept, acclimatize to the whole situation rather than finding a solution? So people will have to think. A lot of convincing, educating them has to go on to make them understand what is the real problem and why this is happening. And we have to be united on a single platform, Tamil. No religion, no caste, but Tamil. So this must unite us.
Got it. Perfect. One another common pattern I see from the people who are throwing criticism against us is we are against growth, meaning we are fighting against this hydrocarbon and all those growth development. You are asking us to go back to farming and stuff, and we are not thinking about growth perspective. Where do we get this energy? Where do we get the resources? We have to use these resources. NTK is against the development. How do you answer that?
Now, to look at this, see, people getting relocated, from Ramanathapuram. Ramanathapuram has a huge economic income from the other countries because most of them are working in the Far East and Middle East. Yes, accepted. But why are people being convinced that the land is not fertile?
Mm-hmm.
It is a fertile land. Somewhere there is negligence that is contributing to its infertility, lack of rains, yes. But then it can definitely be improved. And why should fertile lands be chosen for this oil and the fuel rigging? Right? There has to be truth. It should be genuine. If the land is infertile, it is not useful for any purposes, right? Then we understand. But then that's not the truth. That's not the truth. And when you look at the respiratory complications, you look at the neurological deficits, you look at the teratogenicity that can happen, and then you look at the pollution and contamination of groundwater, then where are people supposed to go for water?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Where are people supposed to go for water? And you see a huge investment from the corporate giants. What is a small farmer supposed to do? He needs representation.
Mm-hmm.
Can we eat the fuel? Can we, when there is seawater ingress, can we drink that water? Cooking purposes, we can't. Unless, the day a farmer dies, that is the doomsday.
Exactly.
Farmer dies because he's not been able to pursue his profession. He's not been, and I won't call it a profession, it's part of himself. People have been doing that for generations. Today, you bring in investors, you want to do something big. And when you see the magnanimity of the whole thing, somehow we get carried away. Look at the basic truth.
Yep. Exactly. Development with the human non-existence. What's the point of development if it's going to affect the human life? Yeah, exactly. People realize that the growth and development should be based on the resources what we have, how we are going to save the resources, and also use the resources and produce valuable product, value-add product. That's how the growth going to be.
And
So
the
when you're talking
government,
about when you talk about Gundu Milaga, the chili you're talking about. There is a place here called New Mexico. There is a city here where near the river base they have a lot of chilies growing. That's one of the main chili growing area here in New Mexico. Around that city, everything is chili based. Even wine, they make wine using spicy wine with those chili. Olive oil with those chili. Everything is spicy there. It's very strange, very unique in America where they eat spicy food. But in that particular city, it's all chilies. So that's how whichever that particular resources which do well
what
there, the industry
grows,
is based on that.
yes, your industry should be based on that. And when a government looks at the well-being of its citizens, of its people of the constituency, how can they ever be a personal intrusion? Right?
Yep.
By personal intrusion, by relocating them, you think it paves way for development? Is that development in the real sense? Shouldn't you be thinking, like you said, how they commercialize the chili? I think we have such wonderful ideas. Children who are educated so well, let us take their expertise, let us employ them, and I think we can make wonders. I think.
Exactly. Yeah, we need people like you. We need a visionary leader like Anand Seeman, and we need people like you come up with ideas from local resources and stuff. Unfortunately, at least we have a vision. Hopefully, not now, but eventually people will realize this, people will understand this.
Yeah.
More and more educated people coming in,
Yeah,
joining our
it's not an
team.
overnight magic, Mr. Saran. It is going to take some time.
Mm.
There will be time losses in between. There will be many obstacles that we will come across. But then, now that an initiative is being made, I strongly hope it will fructify.
Awesome. Thank you. This is amazing. We talked a lot about constituency and all the problems, including the solutions and clear vision and all. How is your journey so far? How you are looking yourself in 10 years down the line?
I'm strongly hoping to bring about a change. Certainly. And I think, when you have a clear picture in front of you, you have a methodology to do things, and people will turn and look at you.
Mm-hmm.
And they know the difference because they have been seeing MPs in the previous years.
Mm-hmm.
And when it strikes them in their mind, yes, this woman is up to something, she is capable, I am waiting for that second.
Exactly. So we were shouting all along. Nobody heard us. Now we got our mic, our own mic. So
And
people
this
can
might,
listen even better now.
what a powerful logo that is.
Exactly. As a final statement, what do you want to say to all the Tamils around the world who haven't seen you before? Yeah, we have a lot of stars in our team, but I don't think not that many know about you. So, how do you want to? What's your final word to all our world Tamils?
Kind word to all the Tamilians all over the world. Personally, trust me and keep watching. I want you to gauge the development and at the same time give me a feedback. I'm looking for feedback, not just the constituency, from people all over the world. And suggestions are welcome. And I can certainly promise my sincerity, my loyalty to my land, and I will work towards it.
Thanks for your time. I know it's a very busy few days. Next 20 days, it's going to be crazy. People should know about you and what kind of visionary we have, what kind of party NTK is. Hope it goes across the channels, across the parties, and people look at you and look at our NTK in a serious thing. And hopefully, they listen to us now. Now we have our mic. All right. Thank you for your time. Naam Tamilar, Name Tamilar.
நாம்
வாழ்க
தமிழர்,
தமிழ்.
நாமே தமிழர், தமிழனுக்கு தமிழனே மாற்று. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I feel so honored, Mr. Sharan.
We are
And
honored to have you.
using this opportunity, I am now introduced to a bigger circle. May this continue. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.